How about so? Yeah, that's right. You're on self quarantine for a little bit, so you got your stationary bike in there.
Yeah.
Are you on Strava? I mean, you probably don't want
No, I'm
to
not.
put your Strava on blast on here.
So I have Strava, but I don't always upload to it. I'm on Garmin Connect. I
Okay.
crush Garmin Connect.
Oh, they just recently got like hacked or something not too
Yeah,
long
it
ago.
it crashed. I was pretty I was trying to figure out what was going on, but they lost like all data for a few days, and it was one of those like hacking for money where
Mm-hmm.
we'll unfreeze you if you guys pay us. I have no idea.
They got ransomware.
Yeah, but you don't realize like how often you use that until all of a sudden you can't use it. So even if you're just using it for yourself, but you want to know where you are for your statistics, and all of a sudden you can't even look at it, you're like, I rely on this way too much.
Right. That's what we were talking about last time. How technology, like we rely on it so much, like just like GPS for instance, and you stop learning how to navigate around yourself. You start losing that self awareness of like where you are in like time and space, and you
Yeah.
You
just
can
put in the
self
GPS and driving
awareness.
around.
Do you
Just
remember? Do you remember Google Maps where you're like, I'm going to go here? You had to print out some Google Maps.
hmm Oh
Um,
yes, I do remember that. And I also remember I'm a little older than you, but like we were talking about this last time, like actually taking like an atlas map on like especially when you're PCSing and you're having to stop like so you would like or I would map out with a highlighter of everywhere I was going on the way to wherever I was going, and I would highlight in the interstate. And if you hit construction, you'd have to navigate around that.
oh yeah, when
So
I worked for 1-800 Got Junk, which is a glorified trash company basically. But we had the Atlas books, so I know exactly what you're talking about. We didn't have
oh nice.
GPS. Someone would call and give us their address, and we'd have to look it up in the Atlas. But my buddy Joe and I back in high school were going, I forgot where we were going, but we followed Google Maps and hit construction. And I grew up just south of Philadelphia. And we ended up in Camden, New Jersey somehow. In his, luckily we were in his beat up car with super dark tint. It was a crazy adventure, but
Right.
his headlights really didn't work. And when the sun went down, now we're trying to drive only on
Uh
streets with like street lights.
nice.
But it was
So,
growing up. That's what you
sounds
did.
like
Yeah,
Print
sounds
out some
it's
Google
good to
Maps.
get
sounds
lost though. That's where
Yeah.
you kind of I don't know, you just kind of learn to figure shit out when you get lost.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
yes. Never lost, just a new way to get there. It's never lost, just a new way to get there.
Yeah, just taking the roundabout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scenic
It,
route.
especially gets interesting when you get lost in a foreign country and you don't have a GPS. And then you
Yeah.
have like the language barrier. That's right. He was in Spain for a while.
Yeah. But no, like before I went to the toilet, you was talking about the paper directions, the Google
Right.
Maps. That's what I used when I took a ferry from Spain to Italy, and then I had to drive up, and my GPS stopped working on my phone, so I was just using these paper fucking directions, speaking Spanish in Italy. But hey, I got there. I found it.
That's all that matters. I mean, you're
Yeah,
here today, so you got there.
I ended up using the compass on my phone and these paper maps. Just I knew the direction I had to go was like northeast, and that was it. I used the compass and the fucking paper maps that I couldn't read because it was in Italian anyway.
Does the phone compass work like a regular compass, or does it run off of the towers?
I do not know. I think I had the first series iPhone back in the day.
That's a
But
good question. I
Well,
don't know.
now I'm
Because if the
curious.
towers go down and your compass is shit.
I don't know. But
Everyone needs a Lindsay compass in their glove compartment.
I have a couple laying around.
I got one in my travel bag. I don't know. It's just a habit. Did I keep my laptop, phone, compass? Yep, I got
Oh,
that.
you're set.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Cause laptop can give him off my Wi-Fi from my laptop. My phone can and compass if I get too lost. But I generally know my directions. I don't need the compass. I generally know which way I'm going, especially in my hometown. So
Oh
I,
yeah.
I I think that's what led me down the direction of like I really try not to use my GPS anymore. Especially I'm in my hometown. But I do use it like when in the case of I'm running late or what have you, and I don't really have time to be, to get lost. But I started being aware of that one time. This was right before. they got Bin Laden or what have you, or we got him or whatever. Not we, I wasn't there, but
We got Bin
like,
Laden.
yeah, you were there. No, I wasn't. But we were running, um, like setting up sites around like different parts of Europe, and we had to go drive down to Spain from Germany, and we had just got some new GPS, units in our unit, GPS units in our unit. You know what I mean? So we were driving, and when we got to France, we were driving for about 2 hours, and I don't know, something told me, like, it was just my spider sensors or what have you. I was like, I don't feel like we're going the right way, and I've never driven down there from Germany at the time. That was my first time, and after about, I don't know, a couple hours, I was like, let's pull over. I had a couple guys on the team with me, and we pulled over at some gas station. And keep in mind, we're trying to be incognito, but we have a big ass, blue 6-pack that just sticks out. The big ass, 4x4 Ford 350, which is, anyways. So we pull over and we get a map. Yep, we were going 2 hours in the wrong direction. Yeah, we're going across France. We're supposed to be going south. So we had to backtrack it, added like, I don't know, 6 hours to our trip before like our next, destination point. But yeah, after that, I was like, I need to start like getting away from the GPS and stop being so reliant on it. So, being aware of it, that's kind of what it kind of popped in my head. Like I was aware that I'm depending too much on this thing, and I need to figure out a way not to be so dependent on it, especially if we have like a solar flare, which is highly likely, and takes out our GPS system or our satellites.
Eh,
Anywho, so
Interesting topic right there, talking about solar flares destroying, technology.
it's highly likely. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're aware of it. I mean, it's highly likely. I mean, there's corporations that are always constantly trying to upgrade the national grid, and it's happened before. I believe in the 1980s or 90s, there was a blackout along the East Coast, and that was due to a solar flare. And right now, if you track any type of space weather, right now the sun is going through, and it sounds like apocalyptic, like conspiracy theory, but it's not. I mean, NASA's been tracking it and what have you, but like the sun is going through a cycle right now. It goes through 12,000 year cycles, and it's right now it's in that cycle, and the solar flares are starting to ramp up. So if we're in the right place at the wrong time, then it will, depending on the level of solar flare that it is, and there's a rating for it, it could impact our national grid and power, internet, phones, and it's just kind of like almost like an EMP. It just takes out everything, fries everything.
Or just destroy that. What's that called? Where all the satellite, the geosynchronous belt,
Mm-hmm.
where all the GPS satellites are, just destroy them.
Yep. And
Then
I don't
everyone
know.
goes back to Google Maps. That's it.
Yeah.
Right back.
Going
Right
back
back
to
to
paper.
the atlas up underneath the sea.